So just like anyone who does anything on YouTube, I get my fair share of complaints. You know, people telling me how they really feel. One thing I hear from time to time is that I focus way too much on teen dramas and I'm ignoring a whole other world of TV shows. Now, to be fair, that might not be incorrect. So, to try and balance things out for those of you who just can't take it anymore, this week we're looking at Jane the Virgin. A lot of people recommended the show to me and it kind of sat on my list for a while. I mean, like, come on, like another run-of-the-mill 20-something romance drama. Like, how good can a show called Jane the Virgin really be? You know what I mean? Well, let's find out, shall we? The show starts out with a bit of history of the titular character Jane.
Our story begins 13 and a half years ago, when Jane Gloriana Villanueva was a mere 10 years old. It should be noted that at a mere 10 years old, Jane's passions include, in no particular order, her family, God, and grilled cheese sandwiches.
Huh, that's nothing. When I was 10, I spent the whole summer trying to see how many atomic warheads I could fit in my mouth before my tongue fell off. Speaking of which, can we just, like, for a second here, you ever notice how many kinds of candy we had when we were kids that were just based on the most horrible things? Atomic warhead, jawbreaker, like I mean, what's next? Stomach ulcers? Chocolate colon cancer? Who's working on these marketing teams? But whatever, anyway, back to the show. So Jane works at a hotel run by this guy, Raphael, who's married to this lady and friends with this guy.
Everybody decent?
Who are you?
Roman Zazzo, but everyone calls me Zaz. I work for the management company that just bought the hotel.
Hey, pro tip for anybody looking for a man in their life. If you meet a guy who has a nickname that's not an actual name, you should probably keep looking. So Jane picks the short straw and has to wear the mermaid tail, which I guess like sucks or whatever. But can we just appreciate for a second here how into these bubbles this guy is? I mean, let me tell you, I have not smiled like that since... maybe ever, actually. Am I okay? Then we're introduced to Raphael's sister, Louise, who's really upset because the night before, she walked in on her partner doing something sinister, I assume. Now, I certainly have no idea what's going on inside that bedroom, but the only thing that would make me that upset is if I came home and saw someone throwing away all my Space Jam DVDs. Can you imagine? So that day, Jane is supposed to go in for a pap smear, but the doctor's all flustered and angry and whatever, and accidentally gives Jane an artificial insemination. But I mean, come on, right? It could happen to anybody. Like, who hasn't been there before? So a few weeks later, Jane faints on the bus, gets rushed to the hospital, and gets some very interesting news.
Nausea and fainting spell solved. You're pregnant.
So like the whole shtick or whatever of this show is that Jane here has never done the old
Devil's Tango
before, and then one day gets pregnant, you get the idea. As you can probably imagine, Jane's a little all over the place in her head with the whole magic baby thing. I mean, hey, sure, I know exactly how she feels. This one time, I bought a 6-piece chicken nugget, and there were 7 nuggets in there. Later, Jane goes over to her boyfriend's house for what she thinks is a dinner date.
I made grilled cheese. Okay, before we eat, I just want to give you fair warning that I'm about to say some pretty corny stuff.
What are you doing?
I'm proposing.
Our timeline.
Who cares about the timeline? Or that, you know, you don't have your teaching degree, or that I haven't established my career, that we have debts, or whatever other reasons we have for waiting.
Well, that's a lot of good reasons not to do this. You just kind of shot yourself in the foot on that one now, didn't you? I know I don't have a job and you don't have a job and my idea of a romantic dinner is grilled cheese sandwiches and I'm still paying off my $100,000 debt from buying all these Space Jam DVDs. But how would you like to be stuck in this situation forever? And if that wasn't enough, he then follows it up with this.
Okay, wait, before you say anything. I'm not doing this because I want to have sex with you.
Okay, whatever you say, man, yeah, But of course, there's just one teeny tiny little detail she needs to tell him first.
Will you?
Michael, I'm pregnant.
Son of a... So back at work, Jane meets up with Raphael, who tells her some more shocking news.
The manager said you wanted to see me?
Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry that I called you a jerk the other night. I was just in this...
I'm the father.
What?
The baby that you're carrying.
Okay, you know, getting pregnant in her situation is definitely a bummer on its own, like, sure, I get that, but she didn't even get a piece of that on the way out. That's rough. That's like getting diarrhea without even going to Taco Bell first. Now, finally, Jane's boyfriend comes over, no doubt to tell her how much he loves her and will support her through this whole crazy situation, right?
Janie, I want to say that I'll support you no matter what.
Wait, that's what I want to say, but that's not how I feel. I want to start a life with you. And I don't want to start it with you having some other guy's kid. Please, don't have this baby.
So here he breaks up with her, sort of, because, you know, she had the audacity to go to a doctor who accidentally got her pregnant. But like, I'm kind of surprised that this is the conclusion he came to, because like, this has viral YouTube video written all over it. Like, they'd be on Ellen in 2 days. But then, after talking it over with her mom and grandma and all that, Jane goes over to Michael's office to smooth things over after she decides that she will, in fact, have the baby.
But before I propose, you need to know all the facts. And the fact is, I'm having the baby.
Okay.
Instead of telling you the reasons why I love you, I'm gonna tell you the reasons why I don't. I don't love you because you're smart and kind. I don't love you because you're hardworking.
Boy, I thought that was going in a very different direction. Let me tell you all the reasons I don't love you. Number 1, you always smell like Cheetos. What's up with that? I've never even seen you eat Cheetos before. Number 2, instead of washing your clothes, you just wear the least smelly thing you can find on the floor. And number 3, I caught you peeing in the sink one time, and your excuse was, the bathroom is too far away? What the yuck? But just when you think everything's all peachy wonderful.
In the arms of the man she thought she knew so well, Jane Gloriana Villanueva really believed that to be true. And then, everything changed.
So when I first set out to watch this show, I was kind of prepared for it to be just like all the others. Now to be sure, this show is really over the top and just bizarre sometimes. But the thing is, like, it just owns it. The show's completely self-aware, never takes itself too seriously, but it still has integrity when it matters. With other shows I've done, like, the main thing that always bugs me is when characters act really weird or just completely inconsistent, but it's played off like it's realistic and serious. And like, somehow we're just supposed to be like emotionally invested in these ridiculous characters. Now, of course, Jane the Virgin has a lot of weird stuff in it, like I said, but it knows what it is and sticks to it, which I can respect. Honestly though, I really couldn't find anything that wrong with it. Like, I mean, I guess everybody has their own preferences and maybe the show just isn't for you, and that's fine. But the entire show has a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes, so I know I'm not the only one. It kind of reminds me of The Good Place, which is another fantastic show, by the way, if you haven't seen it. But for those of you who think I just hate on stuff to be cool, that's not true at all. Cause I mean, come on, you think I'm cool? What, are you kidding me? So anyway, if you're looking for something to watch, I thought Jane the Virgin was pretty good. This week's video is brought to you by BetterHelp. So okay, BetterHelp is basically counseling or therapy done online right from your home. They have hundreds of different therapists from like any religion or ethnic background or life experience, like whatever. Like you can choose the therapist that's right for you and you can change anytime. And while of course mental health counseling and therapy services are the main focus, they also have things like marriage counseling, career advice counseling, help for addiction, counseling for family issues, anger management, and so on. It only costs between $35 to like $70 a week with unlimited communication with your therapist. Now, compare that to regular therapy, which costs upward of like $300 per session. Not that bad. And get this, if you need help, but you're worried about like money or financial situation, whatever, like they even offer financial assistance for those who qualify. Now, I get a lot of messages from people who tell me how my videos have helped them through tough times or, you know, talk them off a ledge, so to speak. And I'm really glad that they resonate with you in that way, but as should be very obvious, I'm not a professional. So if you're having these feelings and you need someone to talk to, or you just need help from a certified professional therapist, click the link in the description and please give BetterHelp a try. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. So as usual, we have some merch in the store. We have the I'd rather be watching Jane the Virgin shirt. And of course at checkout, use the promo code ALEX and you get free shipping anywhere in the world. So it's there for you if you're interested, to help support the channel, that kind of thing, you know, just there if you want it. You know, I've had Jane the Virgin on my list for a while. Like I said, a lot of people asked me to do it kind of early on when I started doing these videos. And I was so like tied up in, I guess, like teen drama stuff that I kind of put it off to the side. But after watching it, I was actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. You know, I watched it and I was like, at first I was like, oh, this is weird. But then it's like, you kind of get it. You're like, oh, okay. It's like, everyone's in on the joke. It's completely self-aware, but not so much that it's all like wink, wink, nudge, nudge all the time. Like, that's kind of my problem with some like movies and stuff where it's like, they're too self-aware and it just gets kind of obnoxious, you know? But this show, I think, does it really perfectly where like, weird stuff happens and it's really over the top and there's like random musical numbers for no reason here and there, but they don't do it too much. And the thing is, like, the story itself has integrity. Like it has substance. It has like, it's cohesive and logical within its own illogical universe, if that makes any sense. But I think it works really well. It's really a great show. Like I said in the video, I know it's not for everybody, and if you're not really into that kind of over the top, like soap opera that makes fun of soap operas kind of thing. Like, maybe it's not for you, but I personally thought it was actually really quite good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell and all that so you don't miss a video when it comes out. Follow me on Twitter. Tell me what your favorite video is or what's your favorite part of this video, or just say hi. Follow my dog Charlie on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. My wife posts there almost every single day, so you know, you get a little extra Charlie in your life if you do that. And above all else, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.